My name is JP, and I'm here today in an alleyway in the downtown east side of Vancouver. A century ago, this neighborhood was considered the hub of political, cultural, and retail activity in the city. Now, one finds the smell of drugs around fire escapes, alleyways, corners, and sidewalk heating grates. The downtown east side is one of the most discussed neighborhoods in the country, mainly due to its problems with drugs and homelessness.
My name's Colin. They call me CT. Been on the streets about 8 years. Ever since this COVID hit, I noticed that a lot of my friends were hurting before, but then when I see them now, the checks actually did help them.
While much of Vancouver is a comfortable home to the wealthy and middle class, the downtown east side of the city faces crippling poverty. The 50-block area is dotted with inadequate, low-income housing, most of which do not have private kitchens or bathrooms. Parks in the area are crowded with tent cities or homeless encampments, with more and more tents popping up every day. One such park, Strathcona Park, hosts so many homeless citizens living in tents and underneath large tarps that the playground area for children had to be closed off. As of 2020, a staggering 2,095 of these residents identify as homeless. COVID-19 is further endangering an already at-risk population and causing fear that those who witnessed more violence, sickness and death than the average person will have to experience even more trauma. Even since long before the pandemic though, the downtown east side has faced a massive substance abuse problem. Over 1,200 opioid-related deaths occurred in Vancouver since 2016, the majority of which took place in the neglected neighbourhood. The street stretches through the centre of downtown Eastside and is notorious for being overcrowded. For those homeless citizens that occupy East Hastings, it's nearly impossible to have any personal space at all. Social distancing is simply not an option. Due to COVID-19 closures, more and more facilities and services that the homeless rely on are shutting their doors. From food banks to libraries and community centres closing, the most vulnerable citizens are being stripped of essential resources they rely on to get through the week.
Nicole works with the Gospel Mission down on the downtown east side, and she's going to give us a little bit of information. Thank you for joining us, Nicole.
Thank you so much for having me today. So Union Gospel Mission is actually an 80-year-old organization in Vancouver's downtown east side, and actually in the Lower Mainland. We've got 7 locations spread across the Lower Mainland. So
wow.
From our, a lot. So from our main location, which is on 601 East Hastings, right in the heart of the downtown east side, out to Surrey, out to New West, we have services in Mission, and then we also have a mobile Mission rescue vehicle, which actually connects with people where they're at. So if they're sleeping rough and living perhaps in a homeless camp in a hidden area, or they're further away from services, we're actually connecting with them where they are. And we have a wide range of services because we have been around for so long, and because we really know that each individual that we're trying to connect with is unique. We've been able to build out and develop a continuum of care because of that. So it could be anything from a nourishing meal to really help fuel someone's body, to an outreach and a case manager trying to figure out what an individual might need in order to exit homelessness, or work towards getting out of poverty, or really even getting into addictions recovery, because we have an addictions recovery program as well for men and women. Yeah, so the need is there, and our ability to serve is immense. And we also know that this year, 2020, the numbers and how and where we're serving is going to look significantly different because of COVID-19.
That's my next question. Absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely my next question. How has the pandemic been impacting services? Has there been anything that has had to shut down? Yeah,
so COVID-19 has impacted UGM in a ton of ways, in the same way that it's really impacted every single person in really the world. It's impacted how we are able to connect with our community members. It's so different now for us in the downtown east side. Previously, with our hot meals, our lunch and dinner, we would actually have up to 400 people come in for each meal, so for lunch and for dinner, and they'd actually come inside where they could sit down, take a load off, have a nice hot meal, warm up, connect with one another, and also we would have outreach workers working in the kitchen at the same time so they could connect one-on-one with people, get to know them a little bit, and start to develop what would hopefully be a transformative relationship. Obviously, COVID-19 has completely shattered that model because we aren't able to serve people inside. And so now the hot meals are handed out through our door, where we are able to still try to connect with people one-on-one, but it's a lot different than it used to be because there isn't that ability to kind of congregate together, to come together and to really warm up and spend one-on-one. Now what we're seeing is in the last month and a half, we've had to turn away way more people from our shelter than we had last year, because there's just, more people have become homeless this year than previously. In 2017, they were saying about 5 people a week in Vancouver were becoming homeless.
Wow.
I would put money on that number being quite a bit higher now because of, the state of the economy, because people are losing jobs, because there's an affordability crisis, because there's just so many factors at play that are making things very difficult for people right now.
So with that said, for people who do have the means to help out, where can they go if they wanted to donate or donate time?
So I would definitely encourage people to go to ugm.ca, where they could learn more about the wide variety of services that we are able to provide to people. And if they have the opportunity and the means to donate, they could, because giving can help save lives. There are just incredible needs for warm shelter. There's incredible needs for a hot meal, for, alcohol and drug recovery programs, and just for those safe opportunities to build strong connections with people. And so that's all done by donation. So we would definitely appreciate people going there to learn more.
Well, thank you very, very much for your time, Nicole. This has all been very enlightening. Some big numbers that I really wasn't expecting there. If there's anything else that you want to share, please, by all means, at this point, go ahead. If not, thank you again. It's been wonderful talking to you.
Thank you so much.
As the homeless continue to suffer, many Vancouverites worry that the cases in the Downtown Eastside are being gravely underreported.
I think the support means a lot, like the food, water, any type of support really helps. Yeah, there's UGM, there's all these churches, the shelters, they all help a lot. They help big time. They help me, and they've helped a lot of my friends.
People who call this street home are perhaps some of the most vulnerable in the country, especially during a pandemic. How is it possible to maintain social distancing in these kind of living conditions?